Hi, my friends. We're going to talk about some of the basic postures in yoga. If you've never done yoga or you want to refine some of your poses or you're having trouble with something like down dog, this is going to be a great video for you to watch before you begin or before you return to a yoga practice. So what you'll need is a yoga mat, a blanket, and I often recommend 2 blocks. Whether or not you need them kind of depends on your flexibility, your stability, and strength. We always grab them. I love using props because it extends your reach to the floor. So go ahead and I'm going to have Kaylee get onto the mat, but bring her blocks of it so they're available out in the front of the mat when she's ready to move. And we're going to start with child's pose, which is a very common posture for yoga. So child's pose, you'll notice that she took her knees nice and wide. In child's pose, you want to have your forehead on the ground. And if you can't reach the ground with your forehead, then take a block underneath your forehead and anchor it there. But child's pose is a lovely way to begin anchoring the mind. Some traditions call this wisdom pose, which I love, just to ground yourself into the present moment. Your sacrum then sits into the right spot in between your hip bones. Everything feels rested. So Kaylee's got a wide knee child's pose. Go ahead and bring your knees closer together, Kaylee, so we can demonstrate that. So you notice that she's a little more upright when she brings her knees closer together. Her organs, if you have more tissue in your belly, her organs are a little more compressed. So it's just really important that you find the child's pose that feels really good for your body. Okay? So this is a really nice starting point. She has relaxed elbows here. Another option, you can bring your hands by your feet in child's pose. And you'll notice this creates a little more opening in the upper back. Her elbows are relaxed down. Everything, there you go. Everything is relaxed and released here. This is another option if extending the arms forward doesn't feel good. So I'm going to have her come into tabletop pose now. So in tabletop pose, you want to make sure that your fingers are pressed gently into the earth. So they're fanned out and they're connecting with the ground. If you don't have action in your hands, you're not distributing the weight off of the wrist joint, so this can be uncomfortable. You can check out our modifications video for other options if this doesn't feel good for your body. And then we'll start moving into cat-cow. So the movement of cat-cow is linked with breath. So as you inhale, you're going to drop your belly and lift the gaze slightly. And then on the exhale, go ahead and round the navel towards the sky, chin to chest. So I'm going to let her start to move on her own breath. And that's what you want to do when you do a cat-cow, is connect with the sensation of breath guiding your movement. So each inhalation, you think about stretching across the front of the body. And each exhalation, you're stretching across the back of the body. This begins to loosen the spine up. It's a really lovely practice to do, even as a standalone practice. This movement, cat-cow, can be really nourishing, really grounding and balancing. We want to add a little bit of movement from this cat-cow. There are lots of ways the spine can move. So on her next exhale, go ahead and roll your ribs to the right and come up through center. And the inhale will take you back through center. Inhale through center. And then exhale, roll the ribs to the left. She's going to take a moment to figure out what I'm talking about. So she might just go in big circles. Yeah. And then if you complete one circle, then reverse that direction. What this does is it actually spreads the ribs out on the side of the body, massages the organs, and takes the spine into lateral stretches side to side. So you can go around one direction and then the other. You can complete a circle in reverse, but just thinking about that organic flow. So the other direction we want to move our spine is in kind of a twist. So from table, go ahead, inhale, and then as you exhale, drop the right elbow a little, looking over the left. And you'll notice her spine twists there, and then inhale through center, exhale, drop left elbow. So you really see there's a nice twisting happening, inhale through center, and just go back and forth. So you'll link again, movement with breath, twisting the spine side to side. And it's okay if this doesn't make a whole lot of head sense. Just move your spine in a way that feels really good. And then on the next exhale, I'm going to have her, after in-breath, sink back into an extended child's pose, and then inhale back into table. So we'll come in and out of child's pose. So the inhale into table and the exhale back. What this does in the exhale back into child's pose creates traction on the spine. One more breath. and the exhale back. So this is the traction creating space. If she creeps her hands further forward on the mat, then she's pulling those muscles, pulling those tissues. You can come down and stay on your next exhale. And she's really extending. Again, if this doesn't feel good for your shoulders, just drop the elbows down. But feeling that extension. The last direction our spine can move in, we deal with the other 23 and a half hours a day, which is the compression of the spine supported by gravity. Okay, so go ahead and come into tabletop pose. I'm going to have you tuck your feet and spread your toes out. We're getting ready to come into what's called down dog. So lifting your hips up to the sky and releasing into down dog. So I love Kaylee's down dog. What you want to think about is a nice straight line from hands to hips. You'll see that her arms are framing her head is somewhat relaxed, and her inner elbows are shining in and slightly forward. So there's a lot of stability in the shoulder joint here. Will you float forward just a couple of inches? You see how if she go a little bit further, if she comes into this pose, if you're in this in down dog, you are going to get very tired very quickly. So come back to that other place, whereas when you're here, you get nice load. The other point that I want to point out is her bent knees here and her soft feet. So we're thinking about stretching into the low back. She's still getting a stretch in her hamstrings, but she's not overdoing it. So the knees remain soft, the feet remain relaxed, and you're not trying to sink those heels to the ground. Okay, go ahead and walk forward into hanging forward bend. I'll get you out of that pose. So you'll notice once again here that she has soft knees. And that's to support, she's still getting, are you getting stretch in your hamstrings there? Yeah, for sure. So she's still getting stretch along the back leg, but she's not straining the hamstrings. But she's also, hopefully, yes, getting stretch here in the low back. So Uttanasana, weight distributed over the center of the feet, hanging forward fold. This is a really nice expression of that. So go ahead, stay in this pose for a second. I want to show them what happens to your back when you straighten your legs. So as you straighten your legs, she's probably going to round, well, you're actually doing pretty well. Try to bring your hands to your shins and demonstrate how when you straighten your legs. Yes, you see what just happened? So how she had a round because it pulls on her hamstring. So go back to comfortable pose, one more breath. All right, since she's been inverted for a while, I'm going to have her walk her hands up her thighs to come to vertical. Yeah, so if you get a head rush, that's what we want to kind of avoid. So we're going to take mountain pose with the palms forward. So mountain pose, very stable grounding position. Weight is over the center of the feet. Pelvic floor is slightly lifted. She's reaching through the crown, but the shoulders are relaxed down. So that's a mountain pose. Go ahead and turn towards the camera, Kaylee, for a second. So you'll notice that her hands are wide. My hands are very wide in mountain pose too. I can't actually get my arms closer. Some people will have their arms really close in, but when I rest, that's what my hands do. And then we'll go ahead and we'll come into Samastitihi, hands to heart center, and then you can turn towards the front of your mat. So this is also called, it's a variation of mountain called Samastitihi. The other one is Tadasana. This one they consider an equal standing pose. It's a way to gather and center before you do any kind of flowing movement. So on your next inhale, Kaylee, you can release the hands and sweep up towards the sky. Exhale, dive down, arms sweep towards the earth. Forward bend. Now take your hands to shins halfway up. It's a nice flat back, exhale down. Let's do that one more time. So a lot of times you'll come up flat back, inhaling halfway up, nice flat back surface, and fold down. Let's step the right foot back into a lunge position. All right. So lunge position, you can stay grounded like she's doing with her fingertips. Bring hands to thighs if you like. You could also use your blocks. We forgot to use the blocks, but that's okay. You can use your blocks. And you'll notice the most important thing here is the front of her knee over or slightly even behind the ankle joint. Now she can bring her knee further forward, her knee, not your foot. So she can bring her knee further forward and she's still in alignment. You just want to make sure that they're not in front of the toes and that your heel is not coming off the ground. So you want secure footing. And her back leg is extended but slightly bent. That's perfect. So if you straighten that back leg and it pitches you forward, that's a little too much. So you just want to soften so you have an upright position and then extend your arms to the sky. So healthy shoulders, you can reach the arms to the sky. Okay, exhale, frame the foot. Let's step back to down dog to transition to other side. Okay. So sometimes Kayla's been practicing for a long time, so it's easy for her to step back to down dog. If you need to change your position to get there, that's fine too. And step your right foot between the hands. It's a little trick. So you notice she pulled it to the outside and then she's moving it to the center. That's also a good trick. Yes, so come on up to what's comfortable for your body. Again, a little bit softness in that back leg, but energy through the sole of the back foot. Right foot is grounded, knee is above the ankle joint or slightly behind it. Nice, strong. You're pushing into those feet. If you want to anchor the way that Kaylee's doing, that's beautiful. And then exhale, bring hands down to frame foot. Back into down dog. Drop your knees. And come to sitting on your heels. All right. Thank you. Namaste. Have a great day. And email me with any questions.